It's life hacks 110.
All those hacks.
How many life hacks?
I've got loads, mate. I got a big pot of life hacks. He hasn't even got any life hacks. Mate, you don't even have any. What are you doing? Definitely one of the things that makes people weak is over-reliance on any one thing.
Every time I've got a taxi that isn't Uber, they've been racist and...
To who? You? If you use one of the self-serve Costa coffee machines, you can fit a large coffee into a medium cup. Then you only get charged for a medium.
That is stealing.
It's also shit coffee. Can you ejaculate without an erection?
Anyone who's listening, can you tell us if you've ejaculated without an erection?
I know someone that had a poo and came. Go on.
Thousands of people watching you and you've pulled it out the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm joined by Johnny and Yusuf from propanefitness.com. It's life hacks 110.
All those hacks.
How many life hacks?
I think it's probably about 250.
250.
Yeah.
25 per
That's why I
episode.
don't have any.
You've run out. Johnny's run out of life hacks today, but it's okay. It's all right. Me and Yusuf have got loads, and you can just...
I'll just talk about them.
You're here for the ride.
I think we will grease the groove, and then Johnny will be like, oh, yeah.
Of course.
And I'll end up having the most.
So if you're new...
Let's just hot potato Johnny.
No, not yet. If you're new to Life Hacks, it is our most popular series on modern wisdom. Tools, principles, products for a productive and efficient life. And this episode is brought to you by Total Performance. It is an online course which delivers daily workouts and training, functional movements, but they're physique focused. I actually filmed the mobility course for them, which was loads of fun. So you'll be doing functional style movements, but with a bro-y twist, which is really what everyone wants to do. So head to totalperformance.co.uk and follow the link to sign up, or you can go to the show notes below and you'll get 7 days of programming for free. So you can just go try it out and rinse them for 7 days of training, get swollen that. On to...
So Johnny, why don't you start us off?
Johnny, why don't you start us off? I will do one. This is actually the first life hack that I've featured, which has been officially submitted by a listener, and it's mint.
Okay.
You ready for this?
I'm ready for this.
Okay, so back to the screen. Will Robertson. If you use one of the self-serve Costa coffee machines, you can fit a large coffee into a medium cup. Then you only get charged for a medium.
That is stealing, Will Robertson.
It's also shit coffee, Will
But
Robertson.
it's good for the environment because you're using less wasted cup space.
Hang on, don't you go to Costa?
Yeah, but not... What he's talking about is the machines that you get in petrol stations.
Okay. Well, I mean,
I think so. Anyway.
That's like saying, hey, look, I can get away with stealing a marginal amount of extra fluid in my coffee. Therefore, it's a life
Well,
hack.
I can't believe that
I don't know whether it is stealing.
So you think it's not stealing because you've already paid for...
well, the charges for the size of the
He's
cup.
using his own cup. He's paying for an amount of coffee that they're allowed
The
to
charges
have.
for the size of the cup or for the amount of liquid that you've dispensed?
Well, he's paying...
It's cheaper if you have your own, isn't it?
But it's a fixed amount of liquid.
That's not what he's doing.
He's not making more liquid come out. Like, he is pressing a button, an amount of liquid's coming out.
He's pressed the wrong button for the price that he's being...
Well, no, he's not.
That's the same as what it's saying when you're in a Tesco checkout, just buy loads of steak, but say that it's onions.
So I know someone who used to do that, but it's not the same, because what he's doing is he's going up to the machine, puts his cup under, presses medium, and then pays. Presses large. Is that right?
Yep.
Presses large.
Yeah.
Presses
large into a medium cup. So the thing
that is a design
Hold
flaw,
on.
the dispense and the purchase
Hold
are
on.
different.
well, the thing is that the person who's on the checkout isn't measuring how much liquid is in that.
No.
It's
Right.
automated, guys.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I think Will Robertson,
You're a
mate,
stealer, Will
do not
Robertson.
listen to these two. They're
Burglar.
trying to shit on your parade. He hasn't even got any life hacks.
Burgling.
Mate, you don't even have any. What are you doing?
To burgle.
Leave Will alone. Will, me and you are
Burgle.
fucking peace, mate.
I burgle, you burgle.
He burgles.
He, she, it burgles.
We burgle, they burgle. Right. Yusuf, do you want to go? Should we go this
Yes.
way? Cool.
Give Johnny some time to ponder.
I
So
don't know.
today's life hack was something I made today, and it is a scalable salad. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful. This is
Can you explain what you mean by it?
Oh man, so I am totally inept at anything culinary, and my beautiful flatmate Mike Randall showed me the way the other day with a. He's got a special knife, and he just said I was chopping wrong. What this is Tabbouleh, which is
Bless you.
bulgur wheat, cucumber, pomegranate if you want, peppers, parsley, fresh mint, beans, and olives. Chop them all up, so just thinly dice them. Or if you just can't use a knife, you can get a push chopper, which is like a zigzag blade in a circular thing where you put the vegetables in, you do that a few times, the blade comes down and rotates and just dices everything for you. Chuck it all in with the bulgur wheat, and then you can add some shredded chicken on top, you can put some balsamic dressing. That will create about a kilo of salad for about 4 or 5 pounds, compared to if you were to buy a salad of that level of quality, it would cost you thousands.
What's it called? Tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh. It's a
How do you spell it?
Middle Eastern Tabbel.
Is that the salad or is that the device?
Oh, tabbouleh.
Moolah.
Tabbouleh. It's the salad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we were speaking to
Great for meal
a
prep.
man today, Yusuf said in a normal sentence, Baghdad, but couldn't say Baghdad. He had to say Baghdad. I do have one. I have one.
Yes. Knew it.
Come on then, Johnny, hit us.
Oil the pipes. Grease the groove. Pump the
Butter the bread.
batten the hatches.
Mouse.
Oh.
What's
or
that?
mouse.
How do you spell that?
It's this phone case. MOUS.
Okay, yep.
Do you know what? I was going to ask you about this earlier today because it looks hardy. Is it made of fiberglass?
So if you Google them, they started on a Kickstarter campaign and they have tested these phone cases, dropping them. They send a drone up and they release the phone.
All right, yeah.
They hit it with hammers. So it was the second time, dropped my phone, picked it up, 150 quid. So instead of that, bought a new phone. I was like, I am not cracking. I mean, famous last words. I've actually had 2 dreams where I've cracked the screen of this. But yeah, it's really nice. The service is really good. And I think everyone will like it.
Looks pretty cool, man. The one thing that I am going to criticise it about
clumsy.
is how in love with the fact that it had a magnetic wallet that could go on the back of it you were adamant, fucking adamant. I'll just show this to the camera.
No, it's
So
not
you
on.
were
It's not on there anymore.
absolutely adamant about the
Chris-
fact that
Chris is not
sticking a card holder here on the back of the phone case, because it's got a little magnet behind that, was a great idea, and he dispensed with your wallet, and then your girlfriend's brother said to you, well, what if that just comes off, mate? Because it's held on by...
He delivered it in a 1-2 double punch. The second one was a knockout. What are you going to put in that? And I was like, oh, well, it's so, on a night out, you go out, you think, oh, well, I don't need my card, I use Apple Pay, so I'll put my driving license in and stuff like that. He's like, you're going to put your driving license in that? I'm like, yep. He's like, what are you going to do when you take it out your pocket and it slips off? And you've had a couple of drinks and you wake up the next morning, you just don't have your national insurance number and your driving license. So,
Do you take your national insurance number on a night
all the
out?
time.
Do you?
What
I
if you
do.
need to register a new bank
some
account or
tax.
something?
We did that today. We literally did it today.
I needed my national insurance number
Oh,
today.
yeah.
He knows this off the top of his head.
So do I.
I don't.
Do credit cards no longer get affected by magnets?
Apparently not.
I mean, I suppose I'd be screwed if that was the case because I've got a magnet there. In fact, that's a bonus life hack. I've got a magnet behind my phone case there.
Right.
So that when I'm in the car, you have the vent thing,
Same as
magnetic thing. Yeah, so you can just stick it on there.
Same
I have Have you not also criticised me for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on my vent, the fault in design with that is the thing, how it fits into the vent.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, you just go and it clips on.
So sat nav.
This is the best thing about this. Inside here, when you take this off, which I'm not going to do because it's a right thing to take off, the thing that you need to take your SIM card out. That's in the case.
Mate, it sounds really innovative. You ruined it for me when the first thing you did was attach the most important cards in your life to the back of it with magnets.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
MOUS. Good.
Mouse.
This is a relatively recent one, which is schedule send on Gmail. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know whether you use web-based Gmail. Anyone who does,
Don't.
you'll see now at the bottom, if you go on to, you've written your email out, you go to send, and just next to send, there's a little drop-down arrow that allows you to schedule it. So you can be working away on a night time or in a morning, have emails that you require to arrive with someone, and just schedule them for...
Mail butler slowly getting chipped away by Gmail.
Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of the functions that we were espousing with Mail Butler a few episodes ago, and now like just getting integrated by Gmail.
Do you pay for Mail Butler?
No.
So they are basically pushing me out the app and making me pay.
Are they?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I rang them and
Same
said,
thing.
"Excuse me."
I'm not. I'm just annoyed about it. It feels very beany to me. There's bean sauce all over it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It keeps fucking crashing. It keep like when I start.
You know what I'm really worried about? Because I've got a big backlog of... Because it puts them in a separate folder when you've scheduled messages.
Oh.
I'm worried that if one day Mail Butler doesn't launch properly and then it just fires out all of my like scheduled messages...
Or you lose them.
How many messages have you scheduled?
Oh, like loads of snoozed and scheduled and follow-up ones, but it's a really intricate like House of Cards system that I've built. One day,
This will be why you keep needing new devices.
because I have like
It's just clogged.
That's the same reason. That's the exact same reason as to why I'm terrified of moving my reminders from future reminders on Apple over to Things and fully migrating. Because if Things breaks, I know that Apple Reminders doesn't, and if Things breaks at some point, the entire structure upon which my life is predicated
It's horrible, isn't it?
fall to the ground around me.
Suddenly you send out an email that was scheduled for July that says, "Hey Kevin, how's the twins? Like, hope you..." And you're like, "Oh no, he hasn't had the twins yet."
Also, I'm going to put on the end of that as well. Schedule send on Gmail is in there, but undo on Gmail is also there.
That's another Mail Butler thing.
Yeah. So you've got a 5-second window after you send it where you can just
5 seconds.
I think it might be 10.
Mine's 60, and I've been caught like at 55 seconds before, just like, oh quick, like 5 is not.
How long are you
What
reviewing?
happens in the minute?
Yeah.
Where like
You sit there and...
So sometimes either the circumstance will change, or you'll see another message.
What,
that's a
within
follow-up.
the minute of when you sent it?
Happens so
How
much.
fast paced is your life?
Oh man,
I'm fucking telling you,
on the
man.
edge of a knife scale.
you see another email that's sent from the same person that changes the whole thing, or you just think of something extra to put in. Put at least a minute. I'd say 90 seconds.
I don't think you can customise it.
No email is that urgent that it needs to be sent within 5 seconds of thinking time.
How often do you two both check email?
More frequently than I'd like to.
That's also my time, but I think probably once per 90 minutes.
Ooh,
Once per hour.
Okay.
I'd love to be able to check it like twice a week. I just think that would be the dream.
That's what Tiago Forte does. Once a week. Wednesday afternoon.
But that's a stressful time for him.
He loves it. He says that he gets really amped up about it and starts sending off emails every 5 seconds. So he just loves getting into it, and he's like, and once you start going, you're just churning through them, man. And he's like talking about it like it's a workout.
If he likes it so much, why not just do it more often?
No, he likes doing the deep single task. He doesn't like the constant.
Because it does feel like you've got a pile of papers and you're just going, nope, bin, yep, send, throw it back.
And then
just
the first person goes, it's back on your pile. You're like, oh fuck, no, bin, no.
Well, no, you just got to hope that they do, or schedule send everything for after when your window ends.
So a lot of people do that.
Yeah, no.
Or like a lot of people do it for the end of the workday or whatever, and then
Stop people
you
from
can't be
creating
bothered.
threads. Yeah, it's a clever way to do things. Scope, what have you got? What's next?
In your out of office, I heard a comedian talk about this the other day. He said, just don't use the word myself. Like, I am currently out of the office. Please contact myself upon the retrieval and the return of my... And you're like, oh, just why use that kind of...
Out of office replies.
horrible
I've
language?
never had an out of office reply.
Oh, I get them constantly.
Well, you have an autoresponder on your email.
The most dickish thing I've seen at the moment is there's someone on our email list who auto replies saying, I'm now using a service whereby in order for you to reach me, you must pay £1 to charity.
Or it's like,
mate,
you need to
we're
send...
paying for you to be on the email list. Piss off.
It's like, you need to send 5p in Bitcoin so that I can read it. It's like...
Christ.
Like, yeah, you've opted in for this, so it's up to you whether you receive it or not. But
Scalable, what have you got?
So
There's another life
this
hack.
is a triple life hack that we found out just before recording that all three of us do.
Mm-hmm.
That is keeping FlipFlops next to the back door of the house. So if you need to take the bins out, to pop out, water the plants, whatever it is, we're so grown up. Then put the
Quick release footwear, isn't it?
quick release. Yeah, I picked the most ridiculous pair of Primark FlipFlops that I could find.
And they're pink.
They're bright orange, orangey pink, and they say "why not" on them. And they're just like, there's no toe hole. It's just like a
The sliders, not flip-flops.
sliders.
Oh, okay. There's no thong.
Australians call them thongs, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, that's the technical term.
What it is, yeah, it's that little bit in
I
there.
have thong anxiety. Has anyone else got that?
I love
horrible.
Havana's flip-flops are by far the most comfortable flip-flops.
They're the Premier
on the
League.
planet. Yeah.
But I get thong anxiety.
What is thong anxiety?
When you are... It only really happens in foreign countries. You're wearing flip-flops because you wear them constantly when it's hot. And you're going down a slight decline. Maybe your feet are a bit wet. There's a lot of pressure on the thong.
Could break a toe,
And you think, God, my body weight is reliant on this pretty femmer bit of rubber. If it goes, I'm fucked.
Femmer.
Flemmer. That's what we need to stop bringing up references that
I wish
thousands of people that are listening have just
don't
gone,
understand.
Why'd they just make that clear?
Even I have to like go back through the archives. I know.
That's all right.
But initially, I'm like,
So
he's just having a stroke.
I suppose to explain
He's having a stroke. There's an aneurysm. He's having an aneurysm live on air. We always said it was going to happen.
we stayed in a place called Clemner.
Clemmer. You're welcome to
And
Clemmer.
we couldn't take it seriously.
I wish
Couldn't
that
take
I
much
could
seriously,
capture somewhere permanent the moment where you and I, Chris, realised how cold it was.
Was it when we got soaked by that car?
Oh. It's the moment we walk out of the Airbnb to the taxi and I turn to you and go, it is quite cold.
That's because both me and Johnny went on a night out in Iceland wearing shirts. Because we looked on the... It's in November, right? Iceland, November. Shirts. Geordies. Fucking northern lads, yeah?
Not going on a night out, like.
Oh, fine,
cool,
fine. I'll
you
be
can't-
fucking
We got our
fine.
asses handed to us. Like I was in a coat and I still got my ass handed to me. Like absolutely.
You did have jitus at the time.
But yeah, you were
I was like
filled with
febrile.
meningitis, weren't you? Right, Johnny, have you got one?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, it's shite. I can say it, but it's awful.
Go on then.
We'll big it up.
Diversify your personality.
Well, I mean, you
said
can
it
either
like
elaborate
that.
this
It's
to
not
be
awful.
better or worse.
Isn't that shit? No, I'll explain what I mean. Have I done this one before?
Don't think so.
Ringing a bell.
No.
You know when you have a bad day?
Happens all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, it's a bad day in a domain. Right? So, like, people...
Bad day at work.
People
Bad
have a
day at
bad...
the gym.
Exactly. So,
It's
like...
only a really, really bad day if it's like pan
Like
domain.
all five, yeah. But how often? And that has actually happened.
Oh, God.
Like the worst things, you have a shit day at work. You go and you can't even unrack 100 kilos without feeling too heavy. You go home, you have an argument with your girlfriend. Netflix won't work. You can't get to
You
sleep.
feel so tired, you just can't sleep.
Mm.
I can't even remember the rest of the words.
But yeah, so it's. I suppose it's an argument to have.
You love so much, but it goes to waste. Could it be
Stop.
worse?
Stop. Stop.
But
I've
light will
multiple-
guide you home.
Is that like Snow Patrol?
Reading some lyrics.
And ignite your bones.
Yusuf,
But I'll be
please,
there.
please, for the love of God,
glamour.
stop. Right. Moving on, Johnny.
Coldplay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so for me, something recently that I've done for this is golf.
Okay.
Hit a small win.
It's
and then
just, so you have a shit day, shit time at the gym.
Why would you pick a sport like golf?
Because-
no one, even Tiger Woods, doesn't have a good time at golf.
But so golf is the sort of the reason why golf is it's frustrating a lot of the time, but as a result, when something goes slightly well, it's amazing.
So is the advice to diversify your personality?
It's not
With
just like
golf.
No.
Right.
Like you can do what you want, but like don't just have like work and TV, or don't just have like work, the gym, and TV, because all that's going to happen is you're exposing yourself to this situation where, as you say, if you have a shit gym session and a bad day at work, like you've got nothing.
Who fucking cares?
Even if it's like play video games or play Warhammer or like something like that, like have something where you just go into a different world for an hour.
You're right.
You're progressing in that world as well as the other ones.
It's a really good point, actually. The fact that the times in my life where catastrophes hit more easily is when I haven't hedged my life across multiple domains. Like when I've let diet or training or friends or relationships or anything else go to waste, and then work has a catastrophe. So much of my focus and my mental space is taken up at work that it's like, well, this is 99.9% of me getting annihilated here. So yeah, I like the idea.
Same
actually.
with interest as well. Like if something becomes boring or You have to not do something for a while for whatever reason.
Get some novelty elsewhere.
If you've got like 6 things you're really interested in, or like you love reading about, love listening to.
So I think that is the serendipitous reason for my apparent resilience with back pain, with back injury, was because like I was competing in powerlifting, got a back injury, and because I hadn't invested 99% of my personality in being a powerlifter and having a big deadlift, it meant that you can then just pivot and be like, I'll just change training goal and I'll just focus on some other things. Whereas like you do see some people, especially at powerlifting competitions, that just have gone full powerlifter.
Well, they cry.
Beard, long hair.
Listen to metal.
It's what
pierce their ears with safety pins. Used to play bloody knuckles in school.
Yeah,
like
and then
if that goes away, it's like it's not just I'm not powerlifting anymore. It's like
I'm
actually,
not me.
Who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
I was chatting to Jordan about this in the gym about how something that CrossFit has going for it is you can have a shit year with your Olympic lifts, but still hit PBs every session. What are you laughing at?
You can be weaker. You can be weaker with strength and yet complete workouts more quickly.
Yeah. So that in and of itself is diversified, whereas powerlifting, Olympic lifting, strongman less so, bodybuilding definitely.
So actually, there's a micro and a macro diversification. Like as you've said there, with training for strength, just if you focus all your attention on hitting a 1 rep max PB and you don't hit one for a year, you've failed. Whereas if you complete a workout faster, you get more reps, you improve your form, you improve the number of reps you can do on a new movement. Any of those things are different ways to progress. You reduce your rest period between 2 movements. All those things are other ways to hedge and still make little mini wins without...
There's levels to all of this, right? Because you could take like fitness or exercise and scan out even further from that and be like, right, well, yeah, my powerlifting sucked, but I'm also getting my fitness up by learning a slackline or whatever it might be. So even within domains and then within specific subjects within those domains, man, I like it. I think definitely one of the things that makes people weak is over-reliance on any one thing. And that includes a person. Like, there's nothing more scary for me than when I see the young lads that work for our company, and it always happens over the years, and someone ends up getting a girlfriend and it's maybe their first or serious relationship or whatever it is, and I just see them begin to linchpin more and more of their sense of self-worth around this other person. Because at least if it's powerlifting or training or even kind of business,
you've got a crack at being world class at that thing.
Not only that, but you're in control. Like, you are absolutely at the mercy of the whims of someone else. Like, if they have a bad day or they decide they want something else, it's not really anything that you can do about that. So, yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I think you've come up with, out of the fact you thought it might have been shit.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, actually, that's a really good one. But like,
the issue is, how do you
do that?
Deploy that tactic?
Yeah. Well, so I think for me, the reason I mentioned golf is like, just pick something else to spend a bit of time doing, because it's just something that, you know, when you're like stuck in your headspace of like things aren't going very well, you need, for me anyway, I can't sit and just watch TV and relax because my mind just latches onto that other thing. Whereas if I can go and do something where I'm
golf, you still have a goal, but it's outside of your frame.
Yeah, well, it's like it's just a little game that you put into where, like, for that period of time, the only thing that matters is completely arbitrary things, but it's all that matters.
And when you come back to the thing you were worrying about before, it's never as bad. Never
as bad.
I suppose as well, when you're doing something that's relatively new, the noob gains are so
huge.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The slacklining thing. I've never become so much better. I was having intra-session progress. Like, I haven't had intra-session progress in anything since I learned to muscle up in CrossFit.
Yeah.
I started the session, couldn't, ended the session, could. Yeah. Like, how many times do you do something like that? Where, especially as you get older, the gains are so fucking marginal that you need to look at them on a yearly, annual basis to even see movement.
And it doesn't matter how pointless that thing is, whatever it is that you're doing. Feeling like you're like, I got that, is one of the best feelings ever. So just give yourself the biggest smorgasbord.
I like it.
Of things to win.
Lovely.
Next up, 2 apps that will make creating content for social media infinitely easier. Canva and Unfold. So Unfold, I may have mentioned in passing before, but Canva is a new one that I've been sent by Cam, who is the person behind Sunny's website. Good knowledge base for all things to do with online content. And he uses Canva, and it is just this huge pre-made library of templates made by other people, like real bits of content, and they just look like professional flyers or Instagram stories, and you can create whatever setting you want. So a Facebook cover photo or a Facebook event photo or Instagram 916 or a square or a whatever, like all different Twitter photos, everything, every different permutation you can think of. And the pro version has some extra features, but you don't need it, so you can get the free version. And you can just customize everything. So you have all of these really great looking flyers. You see one, you're like, fucking hell, that's mint. Then you go onto it and you can edit it, and you can just take someone else's design, rejig it a bit, and then that's your stuff. It's amazing.
We estimate that we probably saved, it'll be way into the thousands on like designers from using Canva.
If we were to go back, because we get a bit trigger happy with Canva even, but if we were to go back and say, like, price up all of the things we've made with Canva as if it were to be made by a designer,
even if it's like not quite as good, it took you like a minute and a half to make.
Do you do it on mobile, or is there a desktop version?
There's a web app, yeah.
Is there?
Web version.
Oh,
really good.
I feel sick doing it on mobile. I just can't do anything on a mobile. Like I think
you do have the smallest.
You know he's getting the 11. Do you know about this?
Next week, yeah.
Amazing.
Isn't that like I'm still I've
it'll
been
be
thinking about that probably every 30 minutes since he's
four device upgrade, won't it? Because.
But I'm just amazed that you're not going for like the 7D4 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you're going for.
I just think I'm due for an upgrade.
You're going for the mainstream, the one that's just been launched.
It's quite cheap. It's cheaper than the XR.
Really?
Not the 11 Pro. So there's a Pro.
Oh yeah, that's
and
like
then
that's
the 11's cheaper than the XR.
It'll be cheaper than the XS, and probably not cheaper than the XR.
Cheaper than the XR was. And XS is the bigger one. Yeah. XR is the cheaper.
It's the XS Max that's the bigger one.
Oh god,
XS is smaller than the XR.
I think they're both the same size.
So I think it's.
I can hear Dean.
Do you know the answers?
I can hear Dean breathing.
I'm going to say something that I think's right, and Dean's going to nod if it's right. So the XS, then it's the XR, then it's the XS Max in terms of size, and the X is the same size as the XS.
Dean is just disappointed.
Am I wrong? 10x.
Anyway, moving on. Seth, what's your next life hack?
So we'll go for another digital one.
Yep.
Bean soup.
Brave browser. Did we discuss this last time?
Never heard it.
No.
Bean pie.
So this is
Bean casserole.
Bean casserole. This is basically Chrome. Now it's a different browser. I resist the idea of using a new browser because you think like, I've got all the favorites and bookmarks set up and all the extensions. It's going to be a ball ache to switch over. But Brave is essentially Chrome plus privacy improvements and speed improvements. So it was seamless. Like you open it up and it ports everything over from Chrome, but it's just faster, stops all kinds of pop-ups and ads and all that kind of stuff. And it's just quicker and it looks nicer. It has a really cool logo. So I made the switch much more amenable to that than something like Firefox or Opera or...
Fucking hell, have you ever gone back and used Firefox or Opera now? Or Windows Internet Explorer?
I have to use Windows Explorer in hospital and it is infuriating.
Fuck me.
I just think there's So what's the problem with Chrome?
Chrome, so the interview that Chris did recently with the Facebook mentor... What was his
Roger
name?
McNamee.
Roger McNamee was just saying, if you have an Android device or anything Google, he thinks Google is the most insidious company because he says like an Android device is effectively a scout data vacuum for just any, and it's just totally shameless. It will just take anything that is within reach, even of your like relatives and people who don't even have like.
Yeah, he gave some pretty scary stats about the fact that Google and Facebook are able to make profiles about people who don't have accounts. So if multiple people are referencing the same person or trying to tag them or do whatever, it will create a profile of this person pending their like appearance within the sphere. Yeah.
You know, they have something, I think it's Google has something called the creepy line, Have you heard about
The
this?
creepy line.
No.
Yeah.
What's this?
Of like what this is a program. I think it's called Do You Trust This Computer? It's on Amazon.
All right,
Prime.
yeah.
But these big tech companies have, rather than worrying about like data privacy, they call it the creepy line. So it's like, at what point is this deemed a bit much?
Right.
But obviously that is completely
subjective moral line of like, that's interesting.
I don't know. I quite I don't know why. Maybe it's misplaced, but I feel quite comfortable with Google.
They're a great company for what they offer, the service that they do. But I do think like it's annoying because I really want to love Safari, but it just doesn't have
It's
the
just not
functionality
quite
and
the same.
speed of
Safari would have been great because it would have tied in all the stuff for me on mobile. Spent so much time on mobile, got all of my presets on there. So I have to have passwords all saved for desktop through Chrome, then passwords all saved on. So it is.
Well, I use LastPass on Chrome, and then like Safari has all the native Apple password stuff in it on
which
mine.
is fucking great, yeah.
So do you use Safari on your phone?
No, I use Brave on my phone as well.
Oh, so you've switched across on there as well.
Fully moved over, and
This is
no
the,
regrets.
This is the genesis
Of a
Scurvy problem.
it is.
We're
We're
watching
watching.
either the genesis of a Scurvy problem, or in 6 months' time, we'll both.
But the thing is, you just feel like using Chrome. Like that's it's not like
that's
using,
exactly what the genesis of a Scobie problem would say.
Maybe,
what's their motive? What is Brave browser trying to do?
that is a good point.
Sell your data to Google.
Like,
Probably.
can you imagine?
So
it?
ironically, probably that is exactly what they're trying to do.
Right, Johnny, do you want to do one, or I've got millions.
I've got one that's really new, and I probably don't. This is the same. I feel like I always recommend stuff like
Untested. Throw us out a 0.5 version. Come on.
the Ready State.
Peaks did.
Peaks did. So Chris went to America. Chris came back from America and told me to stop doing ROMWAD, which is a very sad day. But it was Stu McGill, right, saying bendy combined with fatigue-based heavy lifting.
I think that for some types of physiologies, ROMWAD can create a environment which predisposes you to injury in CrossFit. Mm-hmm. And I think that myself and you have that particular type of body. So I advise Johnny for a period to stick to doing some more stiffening of the spine rather than increasing flexibility in the spine, which you did, but mornings without stretch. Even I now, as someone who is fully dedicated to back rehab, I'm like, I'd just love to just lie and
just do some
get that stretch response on a
I
morning.
think
Yeah,
part of what we got from
ROMWAD
it is the relaxation, the mental benefit, rather than the
focus on the breath.
You don't really change anything.
Yeah.
Or you don't like stand up and think, man, I've got so much more range of motion in this joint. You just feel a bit better. Kelly Starrett had the mobility WOD, launched it like 10 years ago.
M1, yeah.
M1, been around a long time. It's kind of morphed over the years from being very scattergun YouTube videos that were all over the place to apps that were trying to program things, but there wasn't really any logic to the programming. I've tried his app several times and left it because it just isn't what you want. Mm-hmm. He's completely rebranded.
The Ready State.
The Ready State. I think his wife is now the CEO and he's basically the talent. So like he's the front guy. But he's not allowed to do any of the ops because I think he just gets too excited.
Okay.
But now there is, basically in the app, there's a 14-day free trial, pre-workout, post-workout, daily maintenance. You pick the time you've got available, you pick the equipment you've got access to, and it's just fully guided as well, rather than how it used to be, which was like...
instructions.
Put this ball in your hip for 10 minutes. All right, see you later. And you're like, all right, okay.
Well, thankfully, Dr. McGill introduced me to Kelly Starrett, so he's coming on Modern Wisdom.
That's exciting.
November.
That is exciting.
I think it's like November 10th.
He is a funny man.
I'm excited to speak to him, man. He seems like a real character.
Yeah.
Which I think will be cool. Also got Dave Tate. Also got Aubrey Marcus.
Wow.
Also got the Rob, the guy behind Strength First, Pavel's
Okay.
Tatsulin. I've got the director of Strength. Director of Strength.
What a job title.
Fuck me. You better be strong. Anyway, got some cool people coming.
You'll be strong, but in really niche things, like a kettlebell,
upright row,
kettlebell clean and jerk, or something like that.
Upright
Turkish
row.
get up. Have a big Turkish get up.
Massive.
I have got
Such
an
a Russian
absolute fucking belter next. Is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Right. So, this is a tactic which you will both have been subject to, and it is create group chats for people that you're introducing. So let's say that I need to introduce Yusuf to a masseuse. He wants to get a massage from someone that I use. I then, rather than being like, here's the thing, or send him an email and then copy them both in, I'll just create a group chat. Hi people, hi two people, this is why he's here. I'll leave you two to crack on. Then just immediately exit the group. And it's a really nice way of, within a minute, just condensing down the entire task of whatever it is that you need to do, and then you leave those two people to crack on. You've given both of them each other's phone number, so it's not like, hang on, who's this person that's texting me? Oh, it must have been this. And it's easy, it's seamless.
For extra amusement as well, you can just do it between two random people and just watch
and claim that they both have skills that neither of them have.
There was something I saw that I think I sent you, a guy did on Facebook, where he added everybody on Facebook with the same name as him.
It was all that.
I've been added to
a Chris Williamson
group of Christopher Williamsons, yeah.
And then like the guy's written like, well, how's everybody doing? And then someone's written like, fuck off, you prick.
The first response was just that.
Brilliant.
Yeah, because I did it recently. I tried to include an Alex Williams in a thread, and it was
brilliant.
just someone else called Alex Williams. And I thought like, oh, this is fine. And then Johnny sent me a text later that day of just this guy on a beach. Like, do you know this man? I'm like, no. Like, that's who you've added to the thread.
Wasn't the person.
Big, muscular man.
Was there anything confidential? Yeah.
No. Okay. No data. No personal data.
Okay, right. Yusuf.
I recently bought a water flosser.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've gone from flossing in the shower.
Yeah, I've doubled down on flossing recently.
Wow. Okay.
I think
Because of deflation.
Because of the deflation. This was after having a chat with Dean St. Mard, who is a man, he's a pharmacologist.
He's Irish, muscular, lean.
Chemical
clever.
Pharmacologist man with a PhD, knows a lot about supplements, drugs, bodybuilding, that kind of thing. And he said the highest yield thing you can do to reduce your CRP, which is an indicator of inflammation, is flossing.
C-reactive protein.
Yeah, so
That's
I
deflation.
thought floss, but then you run into the problem of PFAS, which is some kind of polyfluor or whatever in floss that leaks into your bloodstream, estrogenic.
You and estrogen are just at a war, constant war at the moment.
I'm running away from estrogen. I'm like the snake eating my tail. So I thought, right, water doesn't have estrogen. Well, it does have estrogen in actually.
Filtered water.
Yeah, but this is a device, obviously made in China. You press and you fill it with water and it just goes. But it's so powerful. Like, I tested it and held it just against the wall, and it went like up against the back wall of the bathroom, but with no drop in pressure, and it was like against the wall.
Is it battery powered?
Battery powered, yeah. Okay. And so you can recharge it. And so I put it in my mouth and tried to, and you're just bleeding all over your mouth on the first time you do it.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that does sound really. How much are they?
£21.
Sold.
Really?
That sounds fantastic.
The bleeding got you to
because I don't know why that just
clean.
Yeah,
it was only bleeding and not traumatic bleeding.
I really want to just get in there, just really
lovely.
Get in amongst
the same way as when you floss for the first time in a week or two, and it's a bit bleedy.
But have you got a brand of water flosser?
Water Pick is the gold standard one. That's quite expensive. I got a bean version.
What's it? Is it water?
Water.
I was thinking you were about to say something really rude there.
Water bean.
I will tell you the one that I got. It was Amazon's choice.
So okay. Oh, right, fine. People will be able to find that.
Yeah.
Was this like a dental recommendation or something?
I asked a couple of dentists and they had mixed opinions on it. Okay, it's called Fairy Will Water Flosser.
You can get a water pick from Asda for 40 quid.
Oh, you know what?
If there's any, sorry,
extra 20 quid. And get
if there's any dentists who are listening, David Breton, you might be listening, or a couple of other dentists, anyone who is, can you tell us whether or not water flossing? Give us the lowdown from the experts area, please. That's a good one. Johnny, have you got something, or do you want me to go?
I just had something a moment ago.
Okay.
But I can't remember what it is.
Nope.
Oh no, I've got it. Yes!
Nice. You love it.
That is the best feeling in the world, isn't it?
Especially in this high pressure situation.
Oh man, thousands of people watching you, and you've pulled it out the bag.
There's an Alan Partridge.
That's a 3-pointer from the halfway line. That isn't it? Yeah.
There's an Alan Partridge episode on Mid Morning Matters where he does that, and he's on radio, and he goes like, "What did I have for lunch?" And the guy's going, "You had it."
And then it just goes on for ages.
So this is from via Paul Mort, via a book that he read, which I'm not sure what the book is called. I think it's called like the Happiness Experiment or something, but it's to create a happiness buffet.
Happiness equation.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
my brother's listening to that at the moment.
is he really?
I listened to a bit of it in the car. He's on Audible. I was so
That's
proud
cool.
of it.
That
so
is
proud
cool.
of it.
Okay.
It's really simple. Basically, just make a list of things that make you happy. Sit and consider that. Like, I am happiness. I am happiness.
I heard that bit of the book.
I am happiest when, and then list those things, and then prioritize them in your schedule. Super fucking simple.
What would your things be? What would some things that would appear in your top 10?
So for me, it's normally spending time with people.
Okay.
Almost always.
And funnily enough, even creating the list of things that make you happy is a happiness-inducing task.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, he's Egyptian.
Oh, nice.
Is he really?
Is he?
Yeah.
Bless you.
But it's a tough one. It is a tough one.
What else would you have on there?
Watching comedy.
Yep.
So now here's something else. Oh, fucking hell, it's all coming out.
These things could be
I've
as
been
simple as smelling
unblocked.
the flowers,
Oh, no,
or
shite.
it could be the fulfillment you have at your work,
Also
or
shit.
it could be spending a time with your wife.
Yeah, average.
Something that came for me was, and this is a secondary life hack. Normally, my morning routine, I'll go downstairs, I'll meditate, do those sorts of things. Becca comes down, puts BBC News on, right? Fucking, it's like the death march. That isn't.
Stop it. Stop it.
So instead of that now, I just put a little bit of comedy on.
On the morning?
Instead of BBC News.
What way to
put
start your
earphones
day?
in.
You can either be told that like Brexit's happening and everything's bad, or you can watch a bit of Peep Show. Just a little bit of Peep Show.
Do you block BBC News?
No, I don't block it. I just put that on instead.
Have you seen the new
Okay.
Dave Chappelle? Sticks
No,
and
on
Stones.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I've not. But I've
Were
heard
we
good things
talking about
it.
the reviews for this?
Not me, but it's been touted around that it had zero tomatoes on Rotten Tomatoes on the critics side, and then had 100% on the viewers side.
Okay, right.
Like,
So is it good?
I haven't seen it yet. That's why I was asking if you've seen
But
it.
like
Statistically,
rewatching, like so while I'm doing my ready state, right? I'll just rewatch just a little bit of Malcolm Tucker,
Peak stick.
just a little bit of it. What the best way to start your day? Just have a bit of a laugh.
I met your dog. I met your dog today. Going back to old life hacks.
Didn't eat my
Get a
dog.
dog. Really nice. Really like a little bear. Like a
Give him
little, little black bear with a moustache.
tiny little poodle.
It looks nice.
Spend time with him. Do funny things to him. Dress him up. Buy him big broccoli.
Big-
Bought him a huge broccoli. It's bigger than him.
I really enjoyed the big broccoli.
So not more than him. I guarantee you, he likes the broccoli more than you like it. Considering I am flying by the seat of my pants,
You're
Doing
running on
pretty
empty,
well.
aren't you? Yeah.
coming out with some.
Okay, so I've had this question asked a couple of times, so I'm going to give it out. The favourite moisturiser that I use is Clarins For Men Super Moisture Gel. So I've used this. It was like a housemate that I lived with 10 years ago, Adam, who used it and introduced me to it. And I was like, seems to be okay, doesn't make me too greasy, doesn't do anything else. And I've now used it pretty much non-stop for 10 years.
What's a bit of your body that you've moisturised in the last 24 hours?
Face.
Soft.
Soft face. Thank you.
Do
What
you
if I said
moisturise
scrotum?
Do you moisturise anywhere else?
It's the same thing.
No.
So I'm not bothered with that. However,
Don't moisturise your scrotum though. It
I remember
doesn't-
you need it to be smooth,
moist
don't you?
enough, isn't it?
Very moist. One thing that I remember being told.
Vinegary.
One thing that I remember being told by a friend who was studying dermatology at uni, and their argument was the earlier that you start moisturising, the better.
So putting money in your pension, isn't it?
Reversing
Compounds.
wrinkles is quite difficult, but slowing the onset apparently is quite easy. Any dermatologist or anyone who knows what the fuck they're talking about, please correct me in the comments below. But yeah, I've moisturised for like the last 10 years with this same product essentially, and it's alright.
That's good.
Managed to shave a couple of months off how old I look.
The common doctor's recommendation is Dipra Base.
Okay.
Is that not a bit much?
I've never used it.
What is it?
It's just standard moisturiser.
It's like an emollient, isn't it? Though?
Yeah, emollient cream. It's not it's for dry skin rather than it is not a steroid. It's just a.
I think you need to be very like people's skins react really differently.
Yeah.
I know that I went through a big period of trying all sorts of different products until I found this one, which seems to not be too heavy, not be too light. It's absorbed.
It's a fine line for me. I find sometimes if I moisturise my face, I get spots or my skin goes dry or greasy. Some days, I feel like I'm also like
playing with. And I think that's because you've got. I don't think you've got the right moisturiser. I think the right daily moisturiser should be able to be used every day without you having any adverse effects.
So
there must be something about skin type, whether you've got oily or dry skin.
Yeah.
So Aveeno oat milk is meant to be
Becky
good for.
uses that.
Okay.
Yeah. Smells minging though.
Yeah.
Does it?
What smells
it's
like?
made from fucking
like
oat milk.
Yeah.
No thanks. Note milk.
Note milk.
Note milk.
No oat milk.
No milk.
So I'm listening to this.
Yep.
I'm just about to turn 30. I'm thinking, fucking hell, I should moisturise.
Mm-hmm.
How do I go about finding one that suits me?
Clarence Super Moisture Gel. Try that first.
Okay. I suppose
there's one person that can say to you that
for.
it is perfect.
Is it not like, is Clarence not like 125 quid or something?
It's £30
For a thimble.
£30 for an amount which will last you around about 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
So it's not super cheap. You'd be spending about 100 quid a year.
Is it a P amount then between the
I use
fingertips?
6 pumps at the top.
6 pumps per day?
Yeah, but they're really small. Like you need to, and that's still not, it barely gets around, but it's a fairly good sized tube. I think it's meant for people that want to be frugal with it because it's quite nice.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. 6
pumps, lasts about 3 months, about 30 quid. So 10 to 15 quid a month. Like.
For a nice face though.
Nice face.
I mean, it's one of the things.
Loads of people see your face.
It's up there, isn't it? It's your advertising board. It's your grill.
You're going to say it's got estrogen in, aren't you?
May well do.
Everything does.
It will do.
But then you tried to reduce. You tried to reduce your estrogen for months. And it went up.
Very hard to do.
It went up.
We know why it went up though.
Why?
So because that's endogenous estrogen compared to. So my SHBG went down. Estrogen. It's not as simple as like reduce.
Do not do an estrogen expert. Do not ring me and tell me.
Doesn't understand.
Yeah.
The science. So mine was
digital.
Yeah, it's digital, but I feel very late to this party because I've only really played around properly with Apple Health.
Okay.
As of 2 days ago, because
I barely used it.
Well, I was aware that it tracks your steps and it has all these features, and I was like, I don't have any devices that really do that. Then I was like, actually, Chris gave me a Withings watch that syncs with your scales, or Nokia now, isn't it? So it gives you have your daily weight, you have your heart rate from the watch, and you have a step count either from the watch or from your phone. Plus, if you track your meditation, if you're an avid life hack listener and you've been using Insight Timer to track your total meditation volume, it pulls the data from that as well. So actually now I've got on Apple Health steps, heart rate, total meditation time.
Using Sleep Cycle?
No, but I should do.
You don't have your phone in your room. It's not a sacrifice that you want to make.
Yeah, it's a trade-off, isn't it? I still have my phone in my room just because I don't have anywhere else to put it. But yeah, that's where
that's not true.
Life hacks.
You have an entire house, mate.
Yeah, I need to get an alarm clock.
I see.
But yeah, that's
mindful minutes.
Mindful minutes. And then if you've got like a Whoop band,
Whoop doesn't time with it.
Yeah,
Whoop doesn't speak to Apple Health.
Really?
Yeah, because Whoop wants to keep you on the app. Whoop doesn't create hard data; it uploads to a server, and there's no way that they'd give the API to Apple so that you could because then you'd have the data.
You can't even download the data, can you? From Whoop?
Have you been on the desktop version of Whoop?
Yeah.
It's really hardcore. That.
I mean, if you want to see what's going on,
fucking get on the desktop version.
What's going on?
It
tracks. I've been meaning to ask you about this. It knows my respiratory rate. Now, is that how many breaths I take per minute?
Yeah.
How could it know that?
Does it? So it tracks heart rate variability.
Yeah.
It's based on
So
that.
it'll derive that. 'Cause when you breathe in and out, you have sinus arrhythmia, which is
Bum, 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 bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum. Right. So it's basing your HRV. It's basing your respiratory rate on your HRV.
probably
Because there'll be a cadence to your HRV, right?
yeah. So
So what we mean is that there is a gap between individual heartbeats. Your heart BPM is that aggregated across an entire minute, but the variability within smaller amounts of time is your HRV, and your HRV is affected. Your breathing affects your HRV by making beats closer together upon an inhalation
yeah.
and further apart upon an exhalation. Why does that happen?
I think it's because it's because of the pressure changes in your chest, and it like you get a slight sympathetic. You've got sympathetic and parasympathetic receptors in your lungs, and when you breathe into, it's boring, but yeah.
Okay,
You have.
I'm trying to work out.
So when you take a deep breath in and then slowly exhale, you physically feel more relaxed because you
Should
stimulate.
we just breathe for the next 20 minutes of the podcast?
You do feel better, don't you? You feel immediately better. And why is that?
So you stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system. I like to think of it as point and shoot. Point, parasympathetic, erection. Shoot, sympathetic, ejaculation. It's one
So you
of the
You got to work hard to get it up, and then you got to relax to get it out.
other way around.
You got to relax to get it up,
yeah.
and then you got to work hard to get it out.
And if you have
It's
the other
Wrong
way
way around, really,
you
isn't it?
either
Yeah.
can't get an erection or can't ejaculate, or both.
Would you rather it was the other way around?
What?
That when you were scared,
Can you ejaculate without an erection?
if you're too relaxed, you can't ejaculate. That's why like certain drugs, they give you anorgasmia.
Can you
so-
ejaculate without an erection?
Yeah.
Oh, the perfect example of that. If you've ever
Can I ejaculate or like can
I?
or can
Can someone?
Anyone who's listening, can you tell us if you've ejaculated without an erection?
I know someone that had a poo and came, and he was really worried.
Just once.
Yeah, I
Wasn't a
reckon,
recurring thing.
not a recurring thing. I reckon what happened is like maybe his prostate was a bit too engorged. The poo coming past
Engorged.
squeezed the prostate, caused him to ejaculate, and
But you could be completely flaccid and ejaculate. It's not like there's a 1 then a 2.
I mean it's kind of a design flaw, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You should. Do you know what you should do? You should
not-
speak to someone.
Yeah, you not speak to management at some point. You're in the admin. You're in the admin house now.
I'll
aren't
call
you? So
switchboard and be like, "Excuse me,
can I speak to the person who designed this?
Excuse me, can I speak to the erections department, please?
I've got
I require to speak to the manager at the erections
there
I've
department.
got a
Erections
feature
department.
request.
Feature
for the
request.
next update.
If
I'd
you have,
like to also correct the bug of when you walk into a room and you forget why you were in there. We can patch that.
that's a software problem, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a hardware problem
Yeah.
that I need. Right, Jonathan.
I'll just
Biting
say
your tongue.
Whoop then.
Whoop.
Okay.
This.
The new
so this is the
Whoop
Whoop
band.
3.0.
Okay.
So I had the 2.0.
Hated it.
So my 2 recommendations for someone thinking about Whoop or
Withings.
With it Fitbit.
Aura,
Yeah.
the
Aura.
Aura Ring. Now, I don't know that much about the Aura Ring. I think they're pretty similar. I would say it's probably not worth it unless you're doing some kind of cardiovascular output based exercise. So, like, it told me very little on power for powerlifting. Every session it considered to be low strain, because strain in Whoop terms is the time you spend in different heart rate bands. So it would only really say something about my HRV. So like all these things, the heart rate based, I think are good for if you're a runner, triathlete, you're doing an Ironman, you're doing anything endurance based, obviously CrossFit, anything where there's a lot of heart rate output. Probably for the other stuff, it's not really that important. Just stick with the Fitbit. But the 3.0 is better. The strap's better. There's a bit more data on the app. I've got over 30 days of data now, so I'm starting to pay more attention to the green and amber readings in the morning. And they're starting to tie up a lot more with how my session ends up going.
So my
really
issue
cool.
my issue with the Whoop has always been that whether or not you find out about, you wake up one morning and you're in the red, do you change anything?
So I would twice in the past 10 days, based on my recovery, I've not trained that day.
Really?
And then my recovery up massively the next day.
See, I don't heed the advice.
You
of
would
the
just
app
train
sufficiently.
regardless.
But if it's a training day, like my scheduling implications are more constrained than editing it around based on what that app says can
So the thing,
very much the same. Like if I only have Tuesday evening to train, I'm going to have to train regardless of.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I suppose you could change the
content of the session.
I suppose you're never really going to run into, if you're only training on a Tuesday evening, you're never going to run into a recovery concern anyway.
That's true.
So it's only, I think, when you're pushing your output and you feel like you need something to stop. Because you want to, really, I think what this is encouraging me to think about is, the goal is to create the biggest pipeline that allows you to train as much as you want. So that means you've got to think more about your sleep. You've got to think more about general stress across the day. And if you have a higher recovery, you can train more. And obviously training a lot for a long period of time decreases your recovery. So you've got to ultimately ride that wave, whether you do it by choice or you wake up one day and feel terrible.
It's very curated for CrossFit.
It's very
even
CrossFit.
though it's not marketed exclusively to that.
Rory McIlroy had one on.
Did he?
Recent
They
golf.
are really
Can I look
fucking
at
pushing it, aren't they? The app.
So this it was a really weird situation, right? Went to see my parents, just got this, right? And I'd had loads of questions about it, because obviously you look at that and that doesn't look like your average Fitbit. One person who was friendly with someone who does CrossFit, who also has a Whoop band, went, "That's a Whoop band," right? Everyone else is like, "What the hell's that? You look like you've just been let out of hospital." Go see my parents,
A little bit, yeah.
right? And my dad looks at me and goes, "That's a Whoop band." And I'm like, all right, something's going on here. Like what, Dad? Who have you spoken to? He's like, I've just finished watching the golf. Rory McIlroy had a Whoop band on. They were making a big deal about it.
They are really.
I mean,
themselves.
what his strain is, like, it'll be nothing.
Long days though, mate.
Lots of walking.
Lots of walking. A lot of just low level. I bet his NEAT is pretty formidable.
So I've tracked some golf.
Yeah.
On that.
How is it?
Low strain.
Does it? You know, when
high calorie output, low strain.
You know, when you do golf, does it track your route on the GPS?
Yeah.
Does it? That's cool. So that's a feature that I quite like. Where on Whoop, if you're cycling or walking or running or whatever, you set it away and it'll track the route as well. Yeah, and tie that in with the heart rate and stuff like that. So my next one is a strategy for reducing social media or phone use, and it's, I need an entire armory filled with these tactics based on like my requirement for work. And my most favorite recent hack is standing when I use my phone, not allowing myself to use my phone when sitting or lying down. And it's that age-old adage, a body at rest stays at rest, a body in motion stays in motion.
That is a great tip. Because then it makes you conscious. It stops you just becoming a slug of just like...
Yeah.
And...
Because you don't want to stand up. You don't want to stand up for any longer than you have to stand up. And if you're like... It's the same reason as to why I don't allow my phone to go from my kitchen into my bedroom. So if I want to use my phone, I have to go out of the...
So what's the effect that both of those things has on you? Is it that it stops you... Like, is it that you think like, I can't be asked to stand up, so I'm not going to use my phone? Or do you stand up and use your phone, but the effect is that you just stand up more?
So the effect is probably both. I mean, I have to stand up if I want to use my phone, so I am standing up more. But the main thing is it's just increasing friction. It stops mindless opening of the phone.
So it does do both then. You end up standing more and not using your phone more.
Well, I'm on a standing desk as well. I'm standing a lot.
How do you police that though?
What do you mean?
So like you sat down now.
Yep.
Or like standard example, you sat here watching TV and you go to look at your phone.
Just put it back down if I can't be asked. It's like, am I bothered enough to look at my phone for me to stand up?
So I'm not. The thing for
Therefore,
me with my phone, when I probably spend time on it, it's when I have periods of low willpower. So like I'll wake up in the morning, it's 6:30, go downstairs, like get a drink, about to sit and meditate, go to open insight timer, I'm a bit tired, and I just find myself on Instagram.
What if you enable, what's it called?
Screen time.
Screen time for between those hours, and then wear jeans, because then you got a big old phone, and then like really, if you're sat down,
But he needs to get it out to do insight time.
Yeah, that's it.
You
So
just
then
need to be
it's
more
screen
disciplined
time.
with that.
Ideally,
and have
I'd
it
like to
clear.
have the first 2 hours of my day where I don't have to use my phone, but mobility.
You could always set a physical timer and then add it manually to insight timer.
That's
later.
just discipline, really, with that, isn't it? Being
Byron
very
Katie, yeah.
mindful. Very mindful.
Byron Casey on a bit of paper. I know it's
I could do
annoying,
it.
but
So I'm going to do another one because I'm on a phone use here, so I'm going to do a second one. And this is one I've been doing for pretty much all of this year, which is I have a second phone now. You guys will know I have a second device which has my socials on. And downstream from this has been a whole host of other changes that I've had to accommodate for. One of the best ones for me as someone who is a little bit more of a content creator and has to be actively creating things that go out on his social media is I actually record more content now that I have a second phone. So I'll have my normal phone, my WhatsApp and phone calls phone. That is the one that's on me at all times. And that doesn't have Twitter, doesn't have Instagram, my account, but does have a normal Insta account that's like a throwaway private one. Mm-hmm. And I'll just walk around and record content on that, save it all down. I've got iCloud linked up on both of my devices. Then when I get in, I have periods in the day where I have access, I allow myself to have access to my socials. I go back on and I have all of this content backed up that I've recorded. And what I've discovered was that I was actually scared, or I was being hesitant of recording content originally, because I knew that if I went on Instagram to record something, I'd also get sucked into answering all the DMs and doing all that sort of stuff. Whereas now, I'm freer to record content without that fear of anything getting taken away from me. Record the content, throw it up online.
send it down the tube.
Yep, I've insulated the different areas of my life. Now it's an odd solution to fix spending too much time on technology by buying another piece of technology.
It makes sense though.
It does work.
Because I think the problem people have with their phone is that it's so multi-use that like there's always something to check. There's always something to look at. This reminded me of this. So this is a post on Tim Ferriss's social media of he's doing some kind of diet with he's calling it a social media diet, but that's his screen time. So that's
20 minutes a day.
1 hour 48 across the week. And that's only on obviously like the entire week. He's not used it at all.
Jeez.
And then just on Tuesday.
It's mostly messages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim doesn't have a club promotion business to run.
He doesn't. You're right. Unless, well, not that we're aware of.
He's probably got an assistant as well.
It is something that I keep coming back to. I just need to press the big red nuclear button and get a light phone or get something like that.
Nokia 3310.
So the new light phone, I think, removes all of my reasonable objections.
iPhone 3, is it?
iPhone 2, light phone 2.
Because it's got like, you can text on it. It's got a calculator. What else has it got?
Uber, Google Maps.
Like those are the things.
Uber and Google Maps.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Goodness me.
Because that's it, isn't
Uber
it? You're like, fuck.
it was Life Hacks 1, wasn't it?
Just get an Uber.
An Uber everywhere.
Just have an Uber rather than the
Whereas,
races.
and you find yourself in town, you haven't got any cash, and you're like, I need to get home. I've got this fucking phone with big numbers. It takes me ages to text anyone. Whereas the light phone just removes that. But I think they're a couple £100.
Yeah. Because otherwise as well, you'd have to call Racist Taxi Service Limited.
There's something
Can you tell us the story here?
By
Yeah.
going, just every time I've got a taxi that isn't Uber, they've been racist and...
To who? You?
No, just, in terms of just generally, it's all these puppies coming in the country and they're stealing our jobs, and you're like,
Are you not also being a bit racist to taxi drivers? Like you're saying all taxi drivers...
No, I'm saying my experience of any taxi driver who's not an Uber has been pretty negative.
Because
so
there's
far.
another stereotype of lots of taxi drivers being of that origin. So maybe this is just competition.
It might just be that, the Uber drivers, that because they resent Uber drivers and see them as ethnic and therefore they are the other. And,
There's a really good Family Guy skit about Uber drivers. It must be in America. I'm not sure what the nationality is that they're taking the mick out of, but it's the shirt unbuttoned down to the mid-sternum, very hairy chest, open gold chains and huge mid-2000s Bluetooth earpiece with mic.
I know that image, but it seems like not a very common sight.
I don't think so.
UK,
No, like I got the guy that picked me up.
An American thing.
Guy that picked me up from the airport on Tuesday was just a young dude, like mid-20s. Like he does Uber to earn a little bit of extra cash.
I think that's
He's a waiter.
more and more common. People like doing Uber as a side income.
They treat you really well.
Yeah. Well, because they want 5-star.
I think they give you breakfast. They do they have these events. I don't know what the case.
Uber treat drivers well. Okay, yeah.
I was like, you're getting breakfast from your Uber drivers. Like,
I've had a bottle of water, but I've never had breakfast.
Bottle of water's nice.
Bottle of water's a great.
That's a bribe for a 5-star rating, isn't it?
Look at that.
A phone for humans.
Light Phone 2.
I'm so tempted.
I've got a Light Phone 1 in there that you can just try. I've had it in there for a year and a half after I had Kai Wait on here, the CEO.
You let me try it. You let me do that.
Yeah, of course.
It was after coming back from Clemmer.
It scares me though, man. And look, horizontal texting.
Oh dear.
I'm just going to make scone
He's
on
got
the
an
podcast.
11. He's got an iPhone 11.
But he doesn't have to. Because the iPhone 11 is going to make him less productive. This will make him more productive. And it's much cheaper.
Damn it.
Yeah. I bet have you been tied in with some sort of credit
No, not yet.
CCJ?
How much is it? How much is an iPhone 11?
£720.
$350.
Mate, that's a lot.
And
That's a lot for a phone that does a lot less.
Does shit all, yeah. But think of what you'll gain.
Nokia.
Think of what. But does Nokia have Uber?
Oh yeah, you're right. I have to call racist taxi code up. Oh man.
Right, come on, Steph. What have you got? Let's do a little quick fire round.
So I had a long delay on a flight the other day. It was a 40-hour delay.
A what?
So the first
When
one
was this?
coming back from Croatia.
From Clemmer.
From Clemner. And so it ended up as a huge ball ache, £1,000 out of pocket.
Fuck me.
Just generally like
£1,000.
£1,000 out of pocket.
40 hours.
And yeah, 48 hours total time out of my life, but 40 hours of the delay.
Fuck.
So I was just like...
So the challenge
very
here, Chris,
annoyed.
is to spot the
Scobie
problem epicenter. Of course.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, the problem first will have been that he decided to use Skyscanner biz or something.
.biz. I think the mistake was using a budget airline. I think just using EasyJet in general was a mistake because it's always, every time I've been on them, again, maybe I've been unlucky, but they've always just been delayed or cancelled. But you can go to the airline direct now. The regulations have changed, so if you have a delay or a cancellation, you can reclaim expenses as long as they're within reasonable limits and things. The online form is annoying, but anyway, you can do that. You can then also try and claim for delay. If they accept responsibility, they will give you €640 per person that was delayed, but although it's scaled down depending on the mileage. If it's rejected, but you still feel like you have a case, you can just go to one of these, I think I use myflightdelayed.com or something. They take a 20 to 30% fee, but it's well worth it because they're just solicitors that have got economies of scale. They will just handle all of that stuff and just send you the
money and take their cut.
So because also it's one of those perfect situations where the incentives are aligned. Like they are backing you because they get their commission. So they're really fighting your corner.
And is it just for flights or is it anything?
For flights only. And you can claim up to 6 years later from a delay. So if you've had a delay of more than 3 hours, then although annoyingly a lot of the time the flights will be delayed 2 hours 50 minutes because
they know what they can play around with. I tell you what's interesting is when I had 4 flights on Tuesday, single day, to and from Dusseldorf, and 3 of them departed late. All of them arrived on time.
Yes,
they're really able to put their foot down a bit quicker.
It's where they try and catch up in the air, don't they?
It wasn't even just it can't have been that the whole way unless the wind's in 3 different directions.
The pilot just pedals really fast.
Because it's all just a simulation.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Johnny, have you got one?
Not really.
All right,
give me a moment.
Okay, I've got shitloads, mate. I got a big pot of life hacks. Big pot. If you are travelling to Canada from the US, which many people may do, go to US first and then decide they're going to head to Canada thereafter. US citizens and Canadian citizens have a deal whereby they can travel freely between the countries. If you are foreign, you need a separate visa to enter Canada, even if you're in the US. And I discovered this.
You're foreign.
If you're not native to America, or if you're not holding an American or Canadian passport, you require.
If you're someone who Racist Taxi Co. Limited would
say something
take
about.
Issue with,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I discovered this in Norfolk Airport when I tried to check into my flight to get into Canada, to leave to Canada, and they said it's not letting us check you in. It's not letting us check you in. I was like, wow. I don't know why. I've got my ESTA, and they were like, "Oh, have you got your SESTA or whatever it is? It's something else. I can't remember what it's called." And I was like, "No, what's that?" And they were like, "Oh, you might need to just check if you can do it." Sure enough, couldn't. Flip side of that, good thing about it is, if you arrive at the airport before your flight is ready to depart, and are delayed for this reason or a couple of other reasons, they will put you on an equivalent flight if you can get the situation sorted within 3 hours. And I got the situation sorted in an hour and a half. So as I was sat there and they said, you can't go, and I was thinking to myself, shit, I need to go up there to see Dr. Stuart McGill. My onward flight to the UK is from Toronto, Canada in like 48 hours. So if I don't make it to Canada by then, can I drive through Canada so I can get I'm going to have to buy another flight home from a different place. Plus I paid for this flight to go see Dr. McGill, and I'm not going to go get to see him. A fucking nightmare. But applied for the visa really quick online, said, here I am, hi, hello, rang them and said, hi, I'm a person who needs a visa. Can you please sort it out? And yeah, 90 minutes later, they emailed it over.
Wow.
And that was at like 6 in the morning, like 6 or 7.
So they have an on-call visa SESTA.
And it was just it was an online thing. I just said, is there a way of you being able to expedite this? And her response in typically polite Canadian fashion was, we'll always do it as fast as we can. I was like, well, if there's a sentence that's going to make me feel better, it's that you'll always do it as fast as you can. I mean, but yeah, if you travel to America and are planning on going to Canada during that trip, you require 2 separate visas.
So get a SESTA.
Get a SESTA. It's definitely not that. It's something else.
Canadian ESTA.
Canadian ESTA, yeah. Let's go on. Have you got one?
So, this is a dad hack.
Oh, nice.
Polygrip. You know, the little, the tablets, Polygrip tablets that are used for cleaning dentures, work really well to descale your toilet.
Okay.
So you can keep a tube of them next to your toilet. If your toilet gets scaly, stick one of them in, fizzes up, leave it in for a while.
Why not? Does Domestos not do
bleach?
Descaling?
Domestos sometimes does.
You got to bleach more consistently than infrequently when you would, if you were to do it.
I'd imagine so. Yeah. There is also, I mean, I've gone on a bit of a toilet descaling journey recently. There's one fluid that I forgot what it's called. It's great for like hardcore scale. Leave it in overnight and it just wipes the whole thing off. But recently I got a preventer, which is like the apple a day keeps the toilet scale away. You put it in the cistern of the toilet and it's a magnet with a grill on it.
Okay, it just dispenses the right amount of fluid into the thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a very scaly toilet?
Yeah.
You do seem to have slightly. I think you must have hard water in
possibly
Sandyford, perhaps.
Yeah, because I get very soft hair after a shower. Perhaps, very soft. Like
maybe that's where all your estrogen's coming from.
It's really estrogen-y water.
Maybe that's
very estrogen-y. Yeah. Well, I mean, the ultimate hack for that is just. I think we did this episode 1 or 2. Get a cleaner. Fucking hell, man! Like the first thing. This is actually a bit of advice. I can't remember whose book it is, but it's on how to run a small studio gym, and their advice is the second member of staff that you should get is a cleaner.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, ahead of getting a gardener or getting someone in to do anything else in your house, just get a cleaner in. And if you get fortnightly clean, I reckon at a push, you could probably get away with monthly. But if you get fortnightly clean, I've found 3 fairly messy, hairy blokes living in a house for 4 years with people coming and going and this, that and the other. There's been essentially no degradation of...
What are you laughing at?
What are you laughing at?
I'll tell you in a second.
There's been essentially no degradation of any of this stuff. There's not been a build-up, like a immanageable build-up of limescale or mould or dirt or anything. Everything has been kept at a manageable level of cleanness, which hasn't... What? Come on, you're going to have to tell me now.
So, I've had bad luck with cleaners. Like, Chris recommended a cleaner. They came round, assessed the house, said, great, we'll be in touch. Never heard from them again.
You didn't chase them up? You never texted them?
It's not my job to
The
chase
money's
up.
in the follow-up.
Yeah, well, they should
But
be.
look what you did.
They're the
what
ones
did you do?
selling
You went to
the service.
racist taxi company and you
so-
said, is there anyone that you hate that can clean my house?
They were like, oh, yeah. So never heard from them again, and it was my fault apparently as the customer for not chasing up the seller of.
So you looked at Bean Limited in the yellow pages.
So I looked at Bean Limited. Bean Limited then.
And then Lady Bean came round.
Lady Bean came round.
She was Polish, wasn't she?
Didn't turn up. Second one, tried again, and it was like 55 quid. Where for a house that normally costs 25.
55 quid for what?
For a house clean.
For a single clean?
Yeah, which.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so which.
But you've got the Polish cleaner.
I have a Polish cleaner, Chris.
But for
I assume there are other cleaners who are Polish.
Chris is like
She's nowhere
Polish.
near that.
So and this is like it's normally 25 quid for a small flat. So I was like, right, I'm not using her again. Third one, they took my lighters and they like the house stunk of smoke because they kept going for tabs and just like, and so I was like, right, I'm not using that cleaning company again. And so I got my assistant to source different cleaners and go and contact an agency. Spoke to the agency, wasted more time. They were like, yep, we'll arrange a cleaner for you. It's next Tuesday, 10 a.m. They arrived, and it was the previous cleaner that they'd somehow like
The smoking one.
they subcontracted out this other company because they were like, and so they turned up again.
You
I was
the
like,
bit with the moustache.
yeah,
Hello there.
Hello. I've come to clean your toilets.
Were they on someone else's shoulders with a big long brown coat with a fake nose on?
I'm like, damn it!
I've never been here before.
But it was so it was them, but more expensive because it was plus the commission, the commission that the agency had charged on top.
Wow.
So it just keeps looping back
Chris,
round.
how many cleaners did you?
One.
Me too.
Never got back in touch with me. I'll have to get in touch with your cleaner this time.
Well, yeah.
You
Please
don't like
buy.
yours either. You're not a fan of your cleaner.
Domestos.
There's yeah.
Let me get you all onto Keeley.
I have different. Things get lost in translation.
Because she's that busy. Because she's great.
Audio broadcast. I'm quite jealous of audio broadcast setup. So he's not on an hourly rate. He basically has like a team of cleaners who come in once a fortnight. It's a company. Team of cleaners come in once a fortnight.
They do the complex.
I don't know whether they do the complex.
Oh, okay.
I think he pays them individually, but it's a fee, and it's as long as it takes.
Same as mine.
Is it?
Yeah.
So mine's hourly.
Oh, mine's £40.
But it ends up being the same.
Mine's £40 every 2 weeks. And she comes and the house is spotless. And if it's really dirty 1 week, then and there's shitloads of washing to do or whatever, then she does that. And if
Does she put clothes in the washing machine for you?
No, but she'll fold and put away any clothes that are out. She does washing up though.
Right.
Which
I'd love to find a housekeeper as well.
Mine doesn't do the washing. I'd like the washing done. That is my least favourite thing.
get your mum to do it. That's my solution.
I hate
Get your mum to do it. Life hack. Get
dealing
your
with
mum.
wet clothes. And
Oh yeah. Well, do you not have a dryer?
Do you not have a girlfriend?
I do, and she does a lot of it, but I still get left with some bits.
How many baskets? What's the ratio?
Probably one. Every one I do, she'll do 4 or 5.
Okay.
That's a really
So the thing is that whenever I'll offer to help, and I'll do something, but I'll do it wrong, and that's not on purpose. Like that is me trying my best. I'll just not quite have followed the formula.
Protocol.
Yeah, it'll be messed up. That's
And
what
I'm like, fine, what? No, I tried to do it, and you didn't want me to.
So something I'd love is someone's Indian grandmother to come and make a big pot of like biryani or something.
Yeah.
And just sort my life
Have you
out.
had an experience with like Indian?
I just they're very really industrious,
Very maternal.
Make a great
Oh,
make
yeah.
a
Just
great
like look
biryani.
after you.
Probably wearing a frock, like
Yeah.
a kind of a big oversized
Like
sort of frock.
they just it's something that they actually like feed off. It's their passion.
They just
like,
ooze estrogen. They'd be
Yeah.
bad for your estrogen there.
Well, I'd like a COO for my life, like a chief operating officer for my life to just deal with
Jonathan Watson Limited.
all of the operations.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is just what I want to do.
Be I just want to exist.
To do your core activity.
Yeah, and I just want all of the other stuff, like the support functions for me, to just be sorted brilliantly.
You know what you should do? You should upload yourself to Teachable. Because they have integrated support.
If I could, Chris, I would have already done it.
I know.
Less Doing by Ari Meisel. He's the closest guy to this. He has created a manual of himself. All the things he does.
I don't agree with his approach to email, though. You know, we were saying earlier about how many times he check email. He checks it several times an hour.
It's his to-do list, isn't it?
But yeah, like he kind of responds to things as they come in, and then other things he does in bulk. And
Very fragmented.
Yeah.
We don't agree with it, but that's probably what we all do.
Well, yeah.
So
Ari's just accepted that is reality. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I think that's we're probably done. I mean, I've got
good episode.
I've got out, haven't we?
Well, no, mate. I've got loads left. You need to for the next one.
Can I make
first off? Here we go. Can anybody who is listening that wants to submit a life hack to save Johnny on the next episode?
And it's not a stealing one.
No burgling.
How to burgle better.
Will Robertson, do not worry, mate. I've got you. If Costa come after you, send them out. We'll sort them out. Anyone who wants to help Johnny by submitting a life hack, put it in the comments below, or send it to @ChrisWillX wherever you follow me. Other things. Total Performance, massive thank you to them for supporting this podcast. Don't forget that you can get 7 days of free programming from them. Just head to totalperformance.co.uk or the link is in the show notes below. What are we going to do next?
Thank you to Dean.
Thank you to Dean for being Video Guy Dean. Thank you very much.
Oh, not quite 10. When did they become VOD?
But he edited them all. So whether Dean filmed...
Was the first one videoed?
Yeah, all of them have been videoed. And even the ones that aren't videoed, that are audio only, have had to have an equalizer, graphic equalizer made for them. Yeah.
Still being
They've been deemed. Done, gone, been deemed.
Be Dean.
You've been deemed.
What are we doing next?
That
is the question.
What is fitness? Business Principles 103. We're going to do... I fancy
Do you think we can get Business Principles to 110?
Oh, wow. That would be... We should make that into a course. Make that into a course.
Yeah, it'll get to 104 and then we'll realise we should have been charging. Yeah. And it'll disappear from the internet.
Terrifying. Yeah, I know, and then you'll have to pay for it. Behind a paywall. So anyway, like, share, subscribe. You know what to do. Thank you very much for tuning in. Okay. Goodbye then.
Goodbye then.